Yeah, of course, though, we have been here before. Remember, in January, we were in a very similar position. The difference this time, though, is that Hamas is giving up all of the hostages, all 48 dead and alive, who are believed to still be being held by the group, will be released. We're, according to Donald Trump, going to see the release of that on Monday. It should be noted that will be the alive hostages that are released on Monday, and then the dead hostages will be released in phases, because apparently that takes longer for them to be found. But a significant achievement here, and Donald Trump's posting on Truth Social really left quite a lot of questions unanswered, though. He said that the agreement means that all of the hostages will be released very soon, and Israel will withdraw their troops to an agreed upon line as the first step towards a strong, durable, and everlasting peace. All parties will be treated fairly. Now, last week, Donald Trump released an image of the Gaza Strip with a yellow line through it that Donald Trump said would be the line that Israeli forces would withdraw to. It is understood that that line, for the most part, is where the Israeli forces will go back to, but there have been some kind of changes that have been negotiated over the course of the last few days. And the real line that stuck out there was Donald Trump saying all parties will be treated fairly. One of the key hang-ups that Hamas had about this deal was basically making sure that Israel agreed to it and stuck with it as well once the hostages had been released and had been returned. So whether Donald Trump has given any assurances to Hamas that will happen is unknown at the moment. But Hamas in their statement said that they call for the Israelis to uphold their side of the bargain. But of course, Donald Trump will likely have pressured the Israelis into making sure that they don't break this ceasefire, and also that will be pressure which is coming from the other parts of the negotiating party as well.
Indeed, because we did see Israel break a previous ceasefire in this war. But we're hearing also, Fraser, for the first time, the US saying that going forward, it will act as that guarantor when later parts of this plan are agreed upon.
Yeah, remember, this is a 20-part peace plan that Donald Trump put forward alongside Netanyahu just a couple of weeks ago, and we are basically at step 2 of this 20-part plan, so there's still a long way to go. And while this ceasefire should indeed be heralded, because the guns will fall silent and the death will stop and the hostages and prisoners will be returned, of course, there is still a lot of work to do, and this is not a fully-fledged peace deal at the moment. It is a ceasefire very much. So there is still a lot of work to do. Donald Trump, of course, has called for the Council of Peace, as he's now calling it. He had been calling it the Board of Peace in his plan. So that is going to be headed by the US with, some people have said Tony Blair will be joining that. So that was in the peace plan that Donald Trump put forward as well. What his actual role will be, if that does indeed go ahead, remains really to be seen. But of course, there's still a lot of details that need to be thrashed out. It called for Hamas not to have any part in that. That's what the Israelis want. But of course, Hamas will likely want some kind of part in the ongoing governance, or at least a say in it. And of course, the Palestinian Authority in the West Bank needs to reform in order to eventually be able to come into some kind of power in the Gaza Strip as well, as outlined in that plan. So there is still a long, long way to go here. But again, this is a good first step on the way to peace, hopefully.